This represents the ultimate transgression of a narcissist, a profound betrayal that remains a weight upon them until their final breath. Narcissism is a clinical personality disorder defined by an inflated sense of self-importance, a total absence of empathy, and a constant craving for external validation. Navigating a relationship with such an individual can be utterly ruinous for the partner involved. Narcissists frequently inflict deep emotional wounds upon their victims, leaving them trapped in a cycle of confusion and pain that makes it nearly impossible to reclaim their lives. One cannot overstate the psychological toll of enduring a narcissist. For many survivors, it takes years to dismantle the trauma and find true healing. A fundamental truth about these toxic dynamics is their inherent lack of fairness. For the most part, narcissists refuse to accept any accountability for their behavior, choosing instead to shift the burden of guilt onto their victims. They employ calculated manipulation and gaslighting tactics to force their partners to question their own memories and their very grasp on reality. This systematic destabilization leaves victims feeling lost and broken, which only exacerbates their emotional suffering. Once a narcissist has finished with a victim, they discard them with startling speed and zero remorse. They often treat the person they once claimed to love like disposable trash, acting as if the history they shared never existed. This cold abandonment leaves the victim reeling, desperately trying to analyze what went wrong. Narcissists generally view other human beings as mere instruments for their own advancement. This lack of fundamental human kindness and concern for others is truly repulsive and difficult for a healthy mind to grasp. We will examine the 7 deadly sins that narcissists commit and the deceptive methods they use to dodge responsibility for their harmful actions. Please consider subscribing to receive more insights and read further, as this helps broaden public awareness and sustains this vital conversation. To begin, narcissists are the ultimate emotional vampires. They sustain themselves by consuming your humanity, your integrity, and your capacity for empathy. They pursue this because the sensation of being in absolute control provides them with a psychological high. They relish the power they hold over you, using it to intimidate, dominate, and inflict harm. But there is a heavy cost for the victim. When you sacrifice your inner self to satisfy them, you lose your mental equilibrium. You may find yourself unable to distinguish between hopes and reality, and your ability to process or recall information becomes compromised. Your perspective shifts entirely, as does your emotional landscape. They are indifferent to the fact that you are losing your identity. The damage they leave in their wake is irrelevant to them. Their only priority is securing the energy and resources they demand. Severe gaslighting constitutes the second major sin. They rewrite your personal history, your emotions, and how you perceive them. Their motivation is clear. By controlling the narrative, they can extract what they want from you, forcing you into compliance and making you agree to things that violate your principles. They metaphorically wrap their psychic grip around you until you are crushed into their distorted version of reality. While in their presence, your self-perception and your understanding of the world are warped and reshaped. The narcissist's ultimate goal is to exploit you until they can force you to take the blame for their own mistakes and faults. It is never acceptable to allow another person such total dominion over your life that you begin to view yourself as worthless and forget your own values. Willful ignorance is the third cardinal sin. Narcissists are convinced they are perpetually right regarding their own desires and needs. They are fully aware that being kind, respectful, and accountable is the baseline for a healthy relationship, yet they refuse to truly embody those traits. Think back to the moments when the narcissist feared you might leave or felt their control slipping. In those times, they suddenly became more pleasant and attentive. They were capable of acting that way because they knew exactly what you required to stay, yet they chose to withhold respect, love, and care until you were forced to beg for the bare minimum. They intentionally denied you the very things that allow a relationship to flourish. The fourth sin involves the systematic destruction of your reputation. When they can no longer control you directly, they resort to character assassination. Even when confronted with the fact that their claims are false, they persist in spreading lies born of a primal animalistic hatred. Instead of managing their own anger or respecting you as a person, they choose to use others to spread poison about your character. This ruins your standing with others and can jeopardize both your career and your private life. They take pleasure in the pain this causes. They realize that a smear campaign can turn the community against you, allowing them to feel superior while seeking revenge fueled by jealousy and spite. The fifth sin is the betrayal of infidelity and the subsequent cover-up. When caught in an affair, they often attempt to hide it or gaslight you by calling you crazy and shifting the blame. This is the conduct of a deeply damaged individual who is unwilling to face the darker parts of their own psyche. There is something inherently evil about knowingly hurting a partner and then attempting to make them look like the villain for discovering the truth. This constant lying destroys a person's ability to trust, making the betrayal unforgivable. They create a fabricated world where you can never be sure of the truth, and when you finally wake up to the reality of the deception, the entire foundation of the relationship is revealed to be a sham. This trauma is so profound that many victims find it difficult to ever trust another person again. The sixth sin is the infliction of physical harm. While not all narcissists are physically aggressive, those who are create an environment of such intense fear that the victim feels perpetually unsafe. This terror can last for decades as the victim constantly fears a repeat of the violence. The mental and physical abuse leaves people feeling triggered and unstable, even in safe environments. Witnessing or experiencing this loss of compassion and self-control reveals a truly dark side of the human experience. These individuals are often simply acting out a deep-seated rage without regard for the humanity of their partner. Finally, exploitation is the seventh cardinal sin. Narcissists view people as objects to be utilized and discarded. Driven by a sense of entitlement, they see others as replaceable tools to help them gain resources or evade consequences. When they target someone, it isn't out of a desire for connection or mutual growth. It is a search for money, status, sex, or material gain. They do not see the human being. They only see the benefits they can harvest through manipulation. They treat people as things, which satisfies their most selfish instincts for survival and dominance. Exploitation is a deep and complex issue that warrants further exploration. I hope these insights have been helpful. Please share your perspectives in the comments, and if you found value in this, please like and share the message. We will continue this dialogue in the next segment as we work toward raising awareness and fostering healing. In our next exploration of this profound betrayal, we must look deeper into the lasting psychological aftermath that follows the departure of a narcissist. While the initial 7 sins outline the specific behaviors used to dismantle a victim, the enduring impact often lies in the invisible chains of trauma bonding. This bond is forged in the fire of intermittent reinforcement, where the narcissist alternates between intense affection and cold cruelty, leaving the victim's brain chemically dependent on the rare moments of kindness. Breaking this cycle requires more than just physical distance. It demands a complete rewiring of one's self-perception. As we move forward, we will investigate how survivors can begin to reclaim their internal narrative after years of systematic gaslighting. This process of recovery is not a straight line, but a complex journey of uncovering the truths that were buried under layers of manipulation. We will discuss the importance of establishing ironclad boundaries and the necessity of no contact as a tool for preservation rather than a punishment. Understanding that the narcissist's inability to change is a reflection of their own internal void and not a reflection of your worth is the first step toward true liberation. By shedding light on these hidden dynamics, we empower ourselves to move from a state of victimhood into a position of strength and clarity. The path to healing is long, but it begins with the refusal to let another person's darkness define your light. We will continue to break down these barriers together, ensuring that the conversation around emotional safety remains loud and clear for all who are searching for a way back to themselves. Moving forward, we must examine the specific mechanics of the trauma bond and why it is so difficult to sever the ties with a narcissist even after the truth is revealed. When you are entangled with someone who lacks a conscience, you are essentially dealing with a predator who has studied your vulnerabilities to better exploit your strengths. The reason many victims stay or feel a desperate urge to return is due to a phenomenon called intermittent reinforcement, where the narcissist provides just enough hope or kindness to keep you hooked. This creates a powerful chemical addiction in the brain that is as strong as any drug, making the process of leaving feel physically and mentally agonizing. It is crucial to understand that the person you fell in love with at the start was a carefully constructed mask designed to mirror your own best qualities back to you. That person does not truly exist, which is perhaps the most painful realization of all. As we look deeper into the recovery process, we see that the narcissist will often try to initiate a cycle known as hoovering once they sense you are truly moving on. They may return with false apologies, promises of change, or even staged crises to pull you back into their sphere of influence. This is not a sign of love, but a desperate attempt to regain the control they lost. To protect yourself, you must realize that their words have no relationship to their actions, and their only goal is to resume the exploitation where they left off. True healing begins when you stop looking for closure from the narcissist and start finding it within your own reality. They will never give you the apology you deserve, because to do so would require a level of empathy they simply do not possess. Instead, your closure comes from the radical acceptance that they are incapable of healthy human connection. In the upcoming discussions, we will focus on the practical steps of rebuilding a life from the ground up after the narcissist has attempted to burn it down. This includes silencing the inner critic they planted in your mind and learning to trust your own intuition once again. We will explore how to navigate the complicated emotions of grief, anger, and relief that often come in waves. You are not alone in this journey, and by sharing these truths, we continue to strip away the power that narcissists hold in the shadows. We will delve into how to spot the early warning signs of these individuals so that you can protect your peace in the future. Stay committed to your own growth and remember that your value was never determined by their inability to see it. We will continue to build this path toward freedom together in the segments to come. In this following stage of our journey, we must address the difficult reality of rebuilding your social circle and the struggle of loneliness that often follows the exit of a narcissist. When you finally break free, you may find that the smear campaign mentioned earlier has left your reputation in tatters, or that you have been isolated from friends and family who couldn't understand the invisible nature of the abuse. This isolation is a tactical victory for the narcissist, but it is also a blank slate for your future. You must begin the arduous task of vetting those around you with a newfound sense of self-preservation. This means learning to distinguish between genuine kindness and the superficial charm that once lured you into a trap. It involves realizing that no is a complete sentence and that anyone who reacts with anger or guilt when you set a boundary is a person who does not belong in your new life. We must also confront the internal shadow left behind, known as the introject, which is the narcissist's critical voice that continues to live in your head long after they are gone. This voice tells you that you are difficult to love or that you were responsible for the chaos of the relationship. To defeat this, you have to actively challenge these thoughts with objective evidence of your own worth and survival. You are not the person they said you were. You are the person who had the strength to endure their worst behavior and still seek a better life. This mental detox is just as important as the physical separation, because without it, you remain a prisoner to their narrative. You must learn to be your own advocate and treat yourself with the same compassion you so freely gave to someone who didn't deserve it. As we look toward the future, we will explore the concept of post-traumatic growth, where the survivor doesn't just return to who they were before, but evolves into someone even more resilient and self-aware. This involves identifying the hooks within yourself, perhaps a deep-seated need to save others or a fear of abandonment that the narcissist used to tether you to them. By healing these original wounds, you become narcissist-proof because you no longer seek validation from external sources that can be weaponized against you. We will discuss how to find community with others who have walked this path and how to safely open your heart again without losing your sense of self. The road ahead is about reclaiming the joy that was stolen and building a fortress of peace that no manipulator can ever breach again. We will continue this dialogue by looking at the specific ways to cultivate a life that is completely and authentically yours. In this next phase, we turn our attention to the vital process of reclaiming your autonomy and the practical steps required to secure your future against further manipulation. A critical component of this transition is understanding the concept of gray rocking, which is a technique used when total no contact is not immediately possible, such as in cases of shared parenting or legal entanglements. This strategy involves making yourself as uninteresting as a plain gray rock by giving short, non-committal answers and showing zero emotional reaction to their provocations. The narcissist thrives on your distress and your passion, so by becoming a void of emotion, you starve them of the supply they crave until they eventually lose interest and look for a more reactive target elsewhere. This is a powerful tool of self-defense that allows you to maintain your composure while you quietly plan your total exit and long-arm recovery. We must also discuss the reality of the flying monkeys, which is a term used for the people the narcissist recruits to do their bidding and harass you on their behalf. These individuals are often well-meaning but misguided friends or family members who have been brainwashed by the narcissist's lies. Dealing with them requires a firm hand and the courage to cut ties with anyone who refuses to respect your boundaries or who tries to pressure you into reconciling with your abuser. It is a painful realization that some people will choose the narcissist's fiction over your truth, but letting them go is a necessary step in protecting your mental health. Your priority must be your own safety and sanity rather than trying to convince the willfully blind of what you have experienced. Finally, we look toward the restoration of your physical and spiritual well-being, which is often neglected during the years of survival mode. Chronic stress from narcissistic abuse can manifest as physical illness, exhaustion, and a disconnected spirit, so the path forward must include holistic healing. This means reconnecting with your body through movement, nutrition, and rest, while also rediscovering the hobbies and passions that the narcissist mocked or forced you to abandon. You are essentially meeting yourself for the first time again, and this is a sacred opportunity to build a life based on your own desires rather than someone else's demands. As we continue this series, we will explore how to set goals for a future that is defined by freedom and the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you can never be broken again. We will dive deeper into the methods of finding peace in the silence and learning to love the person staring back at you in the mirror. In this following chapter, we must address the profound shift that occurs when you move from mere survival into a state of active thriving. This transition requires a deep dive into the concept of radical self-responsibility, which is the opposite of the blame shifting practiced by the narcissist. While the abuse was never your fault, your recovery is entirely your responsibility. And this realization is where your true power resides. You begin to understand that the narcissist's greatest fear was always your independence, and by focusing on your own growth, you are committing the ultimate act of defiance. This stage involves auditing your life for any lingering traces of the narcissist's influence, including the material objects, shared habits, or even the language you use to describe yourself. Clearing this space allows you to fill it with values that are truly yours, such as honesty, consistency, and genuine mutual respect. One of the most challenging aspects of this period is navigating the void, which is the uncomfortable silence that remains once the chaotic noise of the relationship has stopped. Many survivors mistake this quiet for boredom or loneliness and are tempted to seek out new high-intensity connections to fill the gap. However, this silence is actually the sound of peace, and it is within this space that your intuition begins to speak again. You must learn to sit with yourself without the need for external validation or the adrenaline of a crisis. This is where you rediscover your authentic voice and start making choices that are not based on fear or the need to appease another person. You are learning to trust the slow and steady pace of a healthy life, which is a stark contrast to the roller coaster of the narcissistic cycle. Looking ahead, we must also consider the legacy of the experience and how you can use your story to help others without remaining stuck in the past. This involves transforming your pain into a source of wisdom that serves as a shield for yourself and a lantern for those still in the dark. We will discuss the importance of finding a community that understands the nuances of psychological abuse and the power of shared experiences in the healing process. Rebuilding your life is not just about moving away from the narcissist, but about moving toward a version of yourself that is more integrated and whole than ever before. In the coming segments, we will explore how to cultivate long-term resilience and how to recognize the signs of a truly healthy partnership based on equality and empathy. You are the architect of your new reality, and every step you take away from the shadow of the narcissist is a step toward a life of limitless possibility and profound self-love. In this succeeding stage of your journey, we must address the shift in your perception of time and the patient work of healing the nervous system. After years of living in a state of high alert, where you were constantly scanning for danger and walking on eggshells, your body is accustomed to a level of stress hormones that feels normal even when it is toxic. This transition into a peaceful life can often feel unsettling or even boring because your brain is searching for the familiar rush of a crisis. You must consciously train yourself to appreciate the calm and understand that a quiet life is a safe life. This period of stabilization is when you begin to mend the physical toll that the great sin of the narcissist has taken on your health, including issues like chronic fatigue, anxiety, and sleep disturbances. You are finally giving your body the permission it never had to simply exist without being a target for someone else's rage. We also need to explore the concept of emotional boundaries as a form of self-love rather than a wall against the world. When you were with the narcissist, your boundaries were viewed as a challenge or an insult. But in the real world, they are the guidelines that teach people how to treat you. You are learning that you do not owe anyone an explanation for your needs, and that you have the right to walk away from any situation that feels draining or dishonest. This is how you protect the energy you have worked so hard to reclaim. By being selective about who you allow into your inner circle, you ensure that the history of exploitation does not repeat itself. You are no longer an open book for anyone to write their drama into. You are the sole author of your experiences, and you hold the pen with a steady hand. As we move toward the conclusion of this discussion, we look at the ultimate victory, which is the achievement of indifference. The opposite of love is not hate, but indifference, and reaching a point where the narcissist no longer triggers any emotional response in you is the sign of true freedom. Whether they are successful or failing, happy or miserable, it no longer matters to you because they have become a ghost from a past life that has no bearing on your present. You have successfully reclaimed the resources they tried to drain, and you are investing them back into a future built on a foundation of integrity. In the final segments, we will discuss how to maintain this fortress of peace and how to live a life so full of purpose and joy that the memory of the narcissist becomes nothing more than a distant lesson. You have survived the worst of human behavior and emerged with a spirit that is unshakable and a heart that is once again ready for the truth. In this final progression of the narrative, we must confront the reality of long-term maintenance and the permanent closure of the doors that once allowed a narcissist to enter your life. Achieving total independence is not a single event, but a daily practice of choosing your own peace over the chaotic demands of others. You have moved past the initial shock and the middle stages of recovery, and now you stand at a point where your identity is no longer defined by what was done to you, but by